Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Hopefully you guys are doing well. Thanks for joining in today. We are back on the KCS Greenville sub for episode number 10, and we are building east towards staging. So the goal in this video is to get the track laid all the way to the beginning of our staging yard. I'm currently not sure if I want to build the staging on camera or not. I definitely have it all figured out as far as what I want to do. I'm just not quite sure if I think it would be interesting enough, if I'm honest. But once I decide that, of course, I might have a video, I might not, but either way, eventually, even if I don't show staging or its construction in a video, I will definitely at least show it in a video later. But the first thing we're working on now is in the town of Avenger. We are adding a siding that's going to be about 2,500 feet long. This is to accommodate our mainline trains running from Shreveport to Dallas that traverse the layout. Those we allow to get up to 2,500 feet. Any local trains we restrict to just 1,500 feet. And so these are our extra long ones. Probably some of them will have, mid-unit DPUs and things like that. I did make a JMR video in the past talking about modeling trains that traverse long distances, and also, creating cars that that don't actually get switched out of trains, specifically for use behind mid-train DPUs. And so I did it actually from this layout before we got to this part of the build, but that's why this siding is so long and wraps around 3 different curves. We've also added in a spur there. Let's see, that spur is, oh, you know what? I don't have it listed looking at my little reference sheet there, so we'll just have to look closely and see how I labeled the switch. I did go ahead and name all of the switches as I was making this build, and for those that I didn't quite have a name for the industry yet, I went ahead in the video and actually decided on a name. So I would assume that I probably made some sort of transload facility or something like that for that one track. I guess we'll see at some point. I do know that the one that we're building right now is West Fraser, which is a paper mill not too far from Jefferson, Texas. And I'm only modeling 2 tracks. One is for loading wood chips and one is for loading paper. We're going to assume that, just like the real Fraser plant there in Jefferson, that it gets all of its timber via truck sourced locally. All right, and now we are continuing our line east. We have a couple of things to do here in Jefferson. We are going to add another siding, but it's not going to be a 2,500 foot siding. The next siding here will just be 1,500 feet, long enough for a local to run around if it needs to, or terminate if I decide I want to do the local that way. We will find out at some point, although I'm not sure yet. But we are going to have a local that runs all the way over to Jefferson from Hugh Springs, and then turns here in Jefferson and heads back to Hugh Springs. It'll work all industries with trailing switches on its way to Jefferson, and then work all industries with trailing switches on its way back to Hugh Springs. We also there are laying the track for the UP Diamond that exists in Jefferson. There is technically an interchange between the 2 railroads here, but I'm not going to model that because I already have 2 areas where the UP is going to interchange with the Kansas City Southern. And the funny thing is, on this entire route that I'm modeling, there's actually 3 locations where Union Pacific theoretically could interchange. We're only modeling 2 of them, and one of them is fictional, which is why I say theoretical, because technically one of the interchanges we have doesn't exist. All right, here we are laying out some tracks. This facility in real life, I can show later on a different video or something on Google Maps or on like a community post where this industry is, this facility, but I don't actually know what it does. I couldn't find any information on it, even a name, nothing. And it's just these few tracks out in the middle of the woods between Jefferson and Shreveport. And it looks like it only serves like boxcars and tank cars. So I'm going to go ahead for now and list it as some sort of transload facility. But I might change my plan with that later. And, if I do find some information on it, I will come back and revamp it a bit. But for now, since I'm not finding anything, that leaves it open to debate. And so for now, it's going to be just a really large transload. All right, here we are laying the curve to get into staging. Keep in mind that we're not going to actually build out the staging this time. However, I am going to get the tracks laid out. We're going to have a double crossover right there, just so that trains can go in or out any direction they need. This will easily allow for some trains to become run-through trains, and other trains to, change direction when they come out of staging by having that double crossover. And it will make it where I don't have to do a bunch of finagling and switching and all that kind of stuff. You can literally just run your train in, drop it off, and then next time you can just run your train right out. I do need a way to get back to the staging, so toward the end of the video, you'll see kind of how I decided I wanted to get that covered. But for now, we're going to go ahead and get the switches lined out. So let's check the name on this one. What did I put here? Propane. So a propane transload. Makes sense. Makes sense. I should have known. There, I noticed on this part of the railroad heading out to Shreveport, there actually were a lot of different spurs here and there where they unloaded, LPG or propane or those kinds of things. Which, to be fair, makes sense, considering the fact that a lot of the businesses and extraction industries in the area probably could benefit from having easy access to propane and LPG for different fuels and things. Also, heat sources would make sense. So there's just a lot of gravel facilities and timber facilities and everything like that. Stuff that's not really big enough for any rail service, but definitely lots of trucking activity. Sparsely populated area with a lot of land. Here I got sidetracked for a bit because I noticed that these track splines look to be a different color, and I just felt like surely I had to have chosen a different spline by accident. So I went to check and I didn't. But boy, it took me a good 3 or 4 minutes to kind of feel better about that, honestly. So gonna go ahead and lay in all these New Century switches. I specifically chose the New Century switches with the big yellow handbar. Just to help grab the switch and turn it. I did like those a lot. This is the second route that I've ever made that features those. And we're just kind of getting everything inside this little transload facility lined out. I will come back in a later video and start doing some of the details for all of this area. But this video, I didn't want to go more than about 10 minutes, so that's about 40 minutes of actual build time. But I wanted to keep the video itself down below 10, or a little over 10. So we're actually going to stop once we run out of time. I'm going to go ahead here and get everything named out for the staging. So if you depart on the track on the left there, you're heading west. And if you depart on the track on the right, you're actually heading east. And of course, this will take us all the way around the layout. So eventually we'll build out the main. From Hugh Springs, we'll actually build out the main and we'll make our way all the way back around the route back to where the track was there a few seconds ago. All right, just putting in my bumpers and things. So far we've built a few industries, or at least laid the track for them. We've built the track for a paper mill. We've got a few transload facilities for LPG. We've got a general transload facility for stuff that I'm not sure yet, because keep in mind I might change that business. We've got a really nice long 2,500 foot siding, a 1,500 foot siding, and we've got a crossover where we will see some Union Pacific action. Definitely don't think I'm going to actually run any UP trains, but I might, park an SD40 or something on there to make it look like one's coming. We'll see. Not sure. All right, now I'm just going to kind of edit in the edge of the table for the layout, get that all structured. This is one of those essential parts that is easy to take for granted, but this is what really gives the layout its potential depth. If it wasn't for these features, then it would just look like you just have a floor that goes on forever, and it wouldn't really look good. But fortunately, having these here really gives it the model train feel that it really needs. So I definitely enjoy building model railroads. I enjoy building full-size routes as well. It's just a lot easier to churn out model railroads, and they make for a lot smoother video content just because you can do more in a smaller period of time and really get stuff done. We are going to get pretty close here to wrapping this video up. Definitely want to go ahead and take the opportunity to say thank you all for being a part of the channel. Thank you all for watching. Please make sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you see something you like, or if you have any questions, definitely hit me up with a comment. I definitely enjoy talking to you guys when you have something to say, so always encourage that, and I appreciate it. This is now where we can talk briefly before we finish about how I intend to access the staging. So we're going to make an aisle just to the right of the staging area, and I'm sorry that I'm flying around so much, but I was just trying to get my bearings on everything here. And so what we're going to do is we're going to build a duck under with a large bridge. So I'm going to use an RRTK Parker Truss bridge, single track, and we're just going to have it span the 4-foot aisle between the two parts of the layout here. So I'm not going to actually build that in this video. I will put the bridge in, but we'll come back another time and we will actually lay out the aisle and everything else. and get those details ironed out. So, but that's going to be it right there. That'll be the duck under, and then from there you'll be able to get back around to where the staging is. Maybe I'll, throw a staircase or something in there to show access to the actual layout room. But that's it for today, guys. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next one, and we will catch you guys next time. See ya.